All right.
Sweet. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. This week, what are we talking about? Let's talk
Tell me.
about
I
movies.
can tell you what we're talking about.
Movies,
Yes.
entertainment, cursing, just
All that.
everything that culture has to offer us,
Well,
the world we live in.
We'll start off because this guy over here tried to take Landman.
Well, no, hey, hold on. 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago.
Make it clear. Make
Two
it clear.
2 weeks ago, we were doing a sermon. You were
Yep.
talking about Daniel and the influence of culture and not compromising his faith
Right.
under King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yep.
Is that right?
He wanted to eat the king's meat, and he said no.
Not going to do it.
I'm not.
So you brought up something in there that I think spread like
Oh, it's striking nerve.
wildfire.
I love it.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
Talking about our entertainment
Yes.
and what we watch, movies, TV shows, all of the stuff. And you're right, a big one on there for me was Landman. I had to tell Sam the next day, it's like, yeah, I've watched Landman. It's pretty rough. But I want to hear perspective because most of the time, really, I feel like what we really judge movies, shows by, if it's good or bad for Christians, Christ followers, is probably language and sex.
Yep, that's
We're
the two.
good with everything else, but language
Just
and
as
sex.
long as we don't have those two, you can
Yes.
kill as many people as you need to. Steal,
Well, what type of killing?
just anything. I
Is
don't.
it-
I don't think there's a line there. I think
Is it
killing
mean
is
killing?
fine.
Is it self-protection killing? I got to protect my wife and kids, or you're going to kill them? Can I watch that killing?
John
Well,
Wick's good.
John Wick's killing?
Is that
Revenge killing? Like, what are we talking about killing in a movie?
If you're protecting,
What's level
If you
is
are
God
protecting
allow?
a dog, you can kill any amount of people deemed
I've
necessary.
not even seen John Wick. I've
So
seen the
here,
first
I'll
one.
throw this out. You ready?
Yes.
This morning, you told me that you downloaded, what is it called? Angel Vid?
VidAngel.
VidAngel. There you go.
Yeah.
See, you can tell where I'm at. I
Yeah.
don't have it. VidAngel.
I did.
So-
I convicted myself in my
Yes.
own message.
That's good.
Like, I better go home and fix this.
That's awesome.
So just tell us a little bit about that. Why'd you do that?
VidAngel, because I felt convicted when I was up here sharing the message. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, and I think I made it clear in the message, too, that I'm at fault as well. But
Yeah.
so I put myself in there because I did watch the first few minutes of Landman. But I've watched other TV shows, obviously, and I justify it, but my kids already hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, hey, you know what? My kids hear this all the time in school, so as a dad, it's okay for me to introduce it to them in my home. Like, y'all talk about sex at school? Okay, well, let's watch a show that's talking about sex. We can be entertained by this as a family. Y'all hear all these F words and GDs and all this at school? Yeah. Well, then we can introduce that as entertainment as a family. And so that was kind of where I went with it.
Right.
Like, I felt convicted because I was introducing something into my family atmosphere and being entertained by it and justifying it as I don't do it, so if I don't do it, then I can be entertained by it. And so as long as I'm not cheating on my wife and having an affair, I can be entertained by people having affairs.
As long as you're not
entertainment.
participating.
As long as I'm not participating, I can be entertained by it. And so,
Just watch, do it, do it, watch.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was saying, and I like, you know, that I justified it by, well, my kids hear it already.
Right.
My kids see it in public schools already, so it's fine to introduce it into my home. And I just felt convicted about that, and I thought, you know what? There's a lot of shows. I mean, that's the other side, right? Like on TVs and movies, like, but they've got such good storylines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't disagree with that at all.
Really,
They got good storylines.
If you think about who's at fault here, I believe it's the Christian movie making industry.
If the Christians would have never started making movies.
If they just do a better job,
They just did a better job.
Make better movies.
they make better movies, and then
Oh, you're
yeah,
going to get a lot. Corey, have you watched this movie? Have you watched this movie? Have you
Yeah.
seen this one? This is a good
I've
Christian
seen
movie.
enough to know.
Have you seen The Chosen?
The what?
The
Chosen.
Oh, actually, The
The
Chosen
what?
was good.
I was like, oh man, you're gonna get
No,
bashed.
I would never
What?
even say.
What's The Chosen?
What do you mean?
Well, I will have to vouch on Corey's side is people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, Pastor, have you seen this movie?" I'm like, no, because they're usually pretty boring and bad acting, and I can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched them.
And while we're
I'm
on the
sorry.
same page there, you watch Hallmark movies, and I don't understand.
Hey, don't
There-
bash
there is
Hallmark movies, bro.
Worse than
Don't bash Hallmark movies.
You hit a nerve.
Or Great American. I've switched to Great American.
I don't even know what that is.
Me either.
Yeah, the Great American channel puts out movies like Hallmark because some of the Hallmark people switch to Great American. So that's not what we're talking about.
No, sorry.
So in this, I think that I went home and downloaded VidAngel because it takes out anything I don't want in the movies. So it takes out sex scenes, kissing scenes. It takes out curse words. It'll take out killing or gore or, it has a whole
Right.
menu of things that you can click on that you can take out of the shows that you watch, which I think for me I grew up here in Crossville.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up with alternative language.
Right.
Right.
So
I didn't
let-
grow up with
let-
that. I've never been in that environment.
So this just hit me. Are you ready?
Throw it. Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna throw it. So does it make it better if I'm watching a bad show or bad movie, but I take out the bad stuff? Does that make the bad movie? Am I just justifying it at that point, or is it okay? I'm getting rid of the majority of this stuff, so I'm still going to entertain myself with this movie because I now can control a little bit of it.
My off the surface would say yeah. If it deletes sex scenes, then I don't know sex scenes are not in there.
Yeah.
If I've never watched the movie
Right.
or watched the show, it just cuts them out. I don't know what's in there.
Well,
In
but
retrospect,
too, I think to your point is generally sex scenes are in movies that have adulterous relationships, sex
Correct.
outside of marriage, stuff like that. So we cut the sex scene out, but still these two people woke up in the same bed and getting ready or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's still that side to
I
it.
don't disagree with that.
You know.
I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done what?
The movies on VidAngel.
Right.
So you don't know what?
Yeah,
what-
I don't.
yeah.
I don't know yet. I just downloaded it because I felt convicted and I felt like I needed to take a step.
Sure.
To show I was trying to do something good.
No, that's good.
But yeah,
I
I
like
think
that.
I think that part of our entertainment, I think it's the culture.
Right.
And so I know that maybe people are listening that didn't listen to the message, but it was the whole concept that they were trying to get Daniel to eat the king's meat, and this was meat not prepared the correct way, and it was meat that possibly may have been sacrificed to other gods. And so with Daniel, this is something very small and something very insignificant in a lot of people's eyes,
Right.
because all the hundreds of other guys that were contemporaries of Daniel just did it because of the culture they were living in. But Daniel and three other guys out of the hundreds of them were the only four that said, no, our law and my faith says don't do this, so I'm not doing it. And they didn't bow to culture. And so that was why I knew I would get a rise out of people by let's talk about what we watch on TV, because I knew that would be a big issue.
Sure.
Because we all justify it.
Right.
Because it's something small, but we justify that in our approach to things.
I think we probably even more than justify it. Like for myself, almost have just become numb to it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times I don't even hear the language or the cursing or whatever. And ever since your message, appreciate it. So my wife is now counting. We're watching.
One.
Yeah.
One F word,
Yes.
3 B words.
Well, that's what she needs to do is put
She's
up a
like-
swear jar, and you have to throw money in it
Yeah.
every time you're watching something, and the word hits.
Yeah.
And
A new
just-
show we were watching, Lincoln Lawyer. It's pretty cool show. And it's not bad really. It's
Oh.
one of the cleaner ones
Uh-huh.
I've seen in a long time, because I think the most she's counted so far is 3 an episode,
Hey,
and that's just on language.
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
standard.
I haven't seen any nudity, sex, or anything. So
So is that okay? Can we justify that one?
By
On what?
numbers.
Yeah,
By
by
how many?
numbers. If
It only has
if it's
3.
at this amount and lower, we're okay.
Right.
Well, you don't
What
have
if-
to do that if you download this thing.
Okay,
Well,
take the
that's true.
VidAngel.
Yeah.
It only costs you $100 a year.
This is not an advertisement. For
Oh, my bad. Wink.
There'll be a link at the end of the podcast.
Somebody told me about it. But anyways, I mean, yeah, I think it's hard because it feels like it's just another thing that the church or Christians do to move the needle and to make it hard to understand and to navigate. And we already get enough on us that people complain about the church and Christians and being oversensitive about every little thing, that when you present this, it's just another thing to be like, oh, man, that's disgusting. Like, here we go again with a bunch of Christians being
Sure.
the moral police and trying to tell you what you can and can't do. And that's hard, but there is a standard. There is a standard. Like, it doesn't go without a standard. And I think that, like, I think the conviction is an important thing. And I think sometimes people have a conviction, but they are not obedient to it. Other times, I think they don't even know that there should be a conviction to it.
Right.
So you got to present it. And then I think it's up to each individual person. Listen, I'm not accountable to what you watch at home. I'm not accountable to what you watch at home. You got to answer the Lord for that.
Sure.
You got to answer the Lord for that. And like, I have to answer in my house. Like, I think it's a personal thing, but also don't come whining and crying when you feel like your life is struggling or you got some type of spiritual roadblock where you don't feel God and you blame God for not showing up, but there's some accommodated cultural sin in your life that you have let your guard down and you've allowed some cultural sinfulness into your life and you've compromised a little bit, which any sin hinders the Holy Spirit from working in your life, and you're unwilling to go to great lengths to cut out things that could potentially be hindering your walk with the Lord. Like, that's your own fault.
Well, and that's the. But there is a trick there, because to me, and we talked about this.
Right.
Ultimately, the reality is unless you are a shut-in, get rid of your phone, get rid of TV.
Right.
You are making a compromise at some point. Everybody
Yes.
is. So you're setting a line somewhere, which is okay, because there's not one show I don't think that you can't.
Sure,
If
absolutely.
you know that anybody can come in and pick apart a show.
Right.
Pick apart sports, pick apart anything you watch or do can be picked apart to some level, because everything we do falls short of
the glory of God.
Right.
Yep. Well, I think that for a lot of people, like, there's a difference. Is like, well, I mean, like, when I'm out in public and I hear all these words and I hear cursing and these people are living in these lifestyles, so I just not be in public no more. I'm a hermit staying in my house watching whatever. I can't think of the show. Hallmark. Well, Hallmark's not always God honoring either. But I was trying to think of the lady, the medicine queen, the woman. What is her
that
name?
it?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's not. I butchered that. I don't have a clue what that show is, but
It's Quinn the medicine woman.
yeah, something like that. But the reality is, people begin to like make smart aleck comments and off the cuff comments like, "Oh, so if we can't watch, curse words on TV, then if I'm in public and I'm at Walmart and I hear people cursing, I can't go to Walmart no more."
Right.
I'm like, well, the God says to be in the world but not of the world. Like, so God doesn't expect you to take yourself out of every cultural place in this world, but in your home where you have access. Like, you're inviting it in. You didn't invite it at Walmart. You didn't come into Walmart and be like, "Hey, people, if you want to have sex in front of me, come right over here in this aisle. I'm going to be standing here. Let me watch it."
Can you do that at Walmart?
I don't think so. Hey, if anybody likes to drop some F-bombs, I'm right over here on aisle 4 if you want to come over and drop some and talk over here to me. But you are doing that in the home.
Right.
You're saying, "Hey, I'm opening my house. Come on in. I'm going to entertain it here." Like, what level should or should you not do that? I think that's the difference. Like, you can't help it if I'm sitting out in the ball game and watching football. I mean, I did that last year.
Yeah.
Like, me and my son was at a UT football game. Somebody had warned me in advance it gets a little rowdy in our section, and I said, okay. So we went, and the game was great. Tennessee was winning. They ultimately won. It was a big ball game, a lot of emotion. And the guy right here sitting in front of us, I don't know that he could say 4 words without dropping the F word. In his, yeah, let's go, blankety blank, Vols, blank, blank, blank. And then he'd turn to my son and be like, yeah, we blankety blank, Vols, go, blankety blank, give me a blankety blank high five. And my son was just like, I'm like, just give him a high five. just give him a high five, bro.
Clearly he needs it.
Yeah. And so, but the reality was, I didn't just say, okay, whatever. But I said, hey, after the fact, like, sometimes you're going to be in places, son, where people talk like that. And we're not going to judge them, and we're not going to put them down, and we're not going to make any attention to it. But we just know that that's not who we are, and that's not how we live our lives. I think as long as you're doing that in real life, I think that's part of the fact. It's just finding the line to introduce it into your home.
I mean, Daniel was, going back to Daniel, he was living in the
culture.
Yes.
But he just wasn't doing it.
He didn't remove himself completely.
No.
He just wasn't willing to participate and compromise his faith.
Right. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So, I got to ask.
Shoot.
I don't know the right language. I just call it cussing, but cursing is cursing. A sin.
Ooh. Cursing a sin.
Corey.
Oh, well, I know Sam's over here loaded up. Can't wait for it.
I got some verses, bro.
Yeah.
I got verses.
Cursing, filthy language, wrong for a Christ follower, a Christian.
To me, it's in what context, and it's in the area of who you're with, and if they consider it a cuss word. If you think it's a cuss word, then sure, because it's offensive. Any language, no matter what it is,
Right.
If it's offensive to you, then it's cussing.
Yeah.
But the words themselves, I don't, because I think to me, it's kind of silly when we're like, F-bomb is terrible, but I can say frick and freak all day long. It don't matter. I'm like, to me.
You said that on the podcast.
I know. Right. But people like, oh, yeah, that's fine, because you replaced the word with a word that is this exact same word.
You're meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
It's another byword.
Yeah, so just to me, it's like, well, I don't know where your lines are, but I think, honestly, I think cussing is goofy to me that we focus so much on it. But what we don't focus on is the way we talk about each other. And I think a lot of these scriptures, the spirit of the scripture is more about that than it is about this bad word or
so according to the Bible, any unwholesome talk.
Sure. That's to me the thing is that I think
so you would
people
say
need.
Any unwholesome talk is wrong,
Correct,
including cursing.
If it's offensive in the environment that you're at, then absolutely.
Gotcha.
I would absolutely subscribe to that. Just because like I might use a word at home or whatever. When I'm working on something, I don't know, but I wouldn't use it at a restaurant. But I wouldn't use it. I would make sure that I have that filter on at a restaurant because I don't want to offend people, and that's I think that's what you're trying to.
Would it be okay? Is it an okay line that's like the Bible doesn't say the F word is a cuss word in the Bible, so it's okay to say? You hear people say that. The Bible doesn't say that all these words are cuss words. So where are you getting it that I can't say these words? Because the Bible doesn't define what words you can say and what words you can't say. So obviously they're not a cuss word. So how can you call it a sin if they're not defined word by word in the Bible? I mean, you get that a lot.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure, and it's like, well, I think you just apply logic to it, like most anything else. If you're, I mean, hell. You're going to have to cut that one.
So is that wrong or not wrong?
But well, I don't know, because somebody may be offended by it.
Gotcha.
But it is. It's. But I think that point is funny because it's like, hey, heroin's not in the Bible either. But I'm pretty sure we can apply logic of Scripture and know that we should not do that.
Right.
So to me, it falls in the same line of that. But
That was
You know
great.
if people are taking offense or not.
Yeah, I mean, these are some scriptures that you're talking about. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Unwholesome talk. Unwholesome means immoral,
Yeah.
rotten. Like unwholesome is rotting, so you're no longer good. Don't let any of that come out of your mouth. It says, but you also must rid yourself of all such things as anger, rage, malice, slander, filthy language from your lips. What's filthy? It says in James 3:10, from the same mouth comes blessings and cursings. There's a cursing,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's talking about words.
It's
that
not
are
talking
cursings.
about words.
My brothers and sisters, that this ought not to be. Set a guard over your mouth, Lord, and keep watch over the door of your lips. Whoever guards his mouth and tongue keeps his soul from troubles. If anyone thinks he is a religious and does not bridle his tongue but deceives his own heart, this person's religion is worthless. I mean, it's all those scriptures, but the reality is, and I think you make a great point, Corey. I think we put so much emphasis on certain words that we do not put the same offensiveness on immoral talking, which immoral is, hey, and I could probably be guilty of this. Convict my soul, Lord. Hey, I got a good dad joke. It may not be the best, so make sure nobody hears this when I say it. Or, hey, I got a good joke. Let me tell you about this joke. And I know it's not morally correct, and it's not uplifting, and it's degrading in some sense. But I'm going to tell it because people are going to get a laugh out of it. Like, that is unwholesome talk.
Yeah.
Like, that is as much of what these Bible verses are talking about versus the Word. And I honestly, you being, and understand this, all I've ever lived is in Crossville,
Are you
Tennessee.
about to?
I'm about to go there.
You're about to like a whole
No.
region
Yes.
is about to take a shot.
Yes. I've grew up in Crossville, Tennessee. You come from Michigan, and we've had this conversation before. Where like I grew up in a place where majority of these words were just words. Like they weren't like, oh my gosh, you said that word. But in the South, where here in my town, like it's like you said that word.
It sticks out. It's
yeah,
like, well,
and so like, is there like I think what you were alluding to a moment ago is like. Is there ever a place that word is unwholesome talk in another state, but not unwholesome talk there? But could it be unwholesome talk here? And how do I have to follow those shifting and changing lines?
Yeah.
So when I drive out of town somewhere, this is okay. And when I drive into this town, it's not okay. How am I supposed to keep up with that stuff?
yeah.
I think that's what you see a lot.
Well, that's
But I still don't think that makes it right or wrong.
Correct.
I think the right or wrong, sin or not sin, is still there, no matter if I'm in Michigan or Tennessee, no matter if I was raised this way or raised that way. I don't feel like I can say, well, it's not a sin for me because I was raised different.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, in those areas, that word isn't like any other slang word
Yeah.
that you hear. You know, darn, crap, whatever.
Right.
Which is funny because to me the cussing is just a weird thing, anyways. Because it's like those ones are okay.
Yeah.
These are okay ones.
So
I don't.
When I want to say the S word,
Yeah.
as long as I say crap,
Yeah.
then
Then
I've
it's
not
okay.
sinned.
Right.
But
you're
if I
okay.
happen to say the S word, then I sinned.
Yes.
Is that real? Is that in the Bible?
That's so goofy.
If I say, dang it, instead of saying the D word, and
Yeah.
I say, dang it, then I'm okay.
Then you're okay.
But to my granny, fart was just as bad
Yep.
as saying the S word.
Hey,
You don't say that in my house.
I got one. This involves our family. I think you and the kids were over. I was watching Detroit, and I was doing my best. I used to get real emotional, watching Detroit, and I was doing my best to filter. And I'm like, "You suck! Oh, it sucks!" And I'm just over and over
Holding it in.
and I'm filtering the best I can. And I think it was Lily is like, why is Uncle Corey cussing? Or keep saying bad words. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is my filtered words, and I'm still
These are
not
my
making
good words, and I still can't live up to the measure and expectation. I mean, yeah, I mean, sucks. I mean, I've said that in sermons. I'm like, oh, somebody's going to call me out for that word.
Yeah.
But is it like? I mean, I don't honestly. I don't know. Like, I think where I come from, it's like every one of us have bywords to express emotion. And a lot of times that's where it comes. My uncle preacher was the first one I ever heard say the SOB one time. I was like, he jammed his finger working on his station wagon.
Yeah.
And he
That's what
swung
it
his
means.
wrench and said,
That's what it means.
SOB. And I'm like, what did that wrench do? And I'm like, interesting. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it just
It's crazy.
And again, for me, this is just for me. To me, I think it's kind of goofy in the fact that we give that so much attention and zero attention to the fact of how we run each other down every day, just using everyday words or just talk and being divisive. Did you see what so and so looked like an idiot, or
Right.
what does Nate even do here at work? I don't. You know what I mean? How
We love Nate.
we just run people down, and we don't feel convicted about that at all.
Well, I think you got a good
Yes.
point that they're both on evil playing fields. Gossiping, running people down should be viewed the same as cursing or language. But I also feel like I just don't feel like in my own life that my line is different than your line, and my standard of what God holds me to is going to be different than your standard.
Right.
I feel like it's across the board.
So
I feel like
that's-
Scripture says that I
So
am supposed to be holy, set apart, look different from the rest of the world. That means I shouldn't talk like the rest of the world. I shouldn't, like earlier, watch the same things as the rest of the world. Now, I'm not perfect, but I just feel like Scripture lays out the line for us.
But no, and so
we
what you're saying is the cuss words. Sorry, microphone.
Yeah.
You're saying the cuss words is bad no matter what, pretty much.
Yes.
And no matter where you're at.
Yes.
But you're okay with the slang of like crap, darn, shoot. Those are.
I think you got a good argument, a good point there. That in context, it's no different.
Right.
It's unwholesome talk. It's like it's not godly, so therefore it's not of God. It's not setting me apart. But I'm guilty of that. I'll say crap all day long, but I'm not going to cuss.
So here's another trick. I want to add another layer, just because. I mean, and it adds to what you're saying though, because I remember Camille did hairdressing, and she's doing this lady from England, and I'm not going to even come close to saying the word.
Do it in
but
the accent.
She was throwing this word out freely, and they're like mortified because it's a bad one here.
Yeah.
But there, it's not at all.
Right.
It's just not.
Right.
So what you're saying is you have to learn the
Why is
language
it
in
not?
every place
Yeah.
that you ever might possibly go
Yeah.
to figure out where your words are okay and not okay.
No, I mean, just because a different country or culture is different and the influence is different in another region of the world doesn't make the Bible doesn't shift and change compared to different lifestyles or different areas or different influences or what's accepted or not accepted.
But it's okay for them to use it or no?
No.
Right.
But how do they know that word's not okay?
Conviction of the Holy Spirit, I guess, Scripture.
I'm so far from you on this one.
I will tell you that I think that a lot part of this issue is it comes from the I'm trying to think of the word. It comes from the suggested meaning of or the implied meaning of how you're using it.
I got you.
You know, like if we say the D word, like the connotation was we're not talking about a dam on the lake.
Right.
You know, that connotation has such a deeper, like, I am condemning you. Like it has that connotation behind it. So yes, that would be like wrong. Like if you use the F word, you're talking about a a sexual moment that is not holy and reverent.
Yeah.
So that is why it has a negative connotation. If you're talking about the B word, you're not talking about a female dog, but you're calling another woman who is a creation of God a derogatory term in relation to that and the things that happen toward that female dog. Like, it's that brings the negative. It's not the word in itself. It's the connotation in which you're trying to communicate by saying it. Now, I do think in a lot of times people just use it without the understanding of, like,
because
the
it's just normal
origin of that connotation.
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
and I guess that's where I was getting is,
Right.
I was trying to, because I was like, well, they have zero idea that that's
Right.
even considered a bad word anywhere.
Yeah.
To them, it's like saying brat.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
which is like, is that okay for us to say? Is that you know? And it's
So, like, if I say, "Hey, she's the bee," like, then I'm then I'm implying
this is such a
that-
weird podcast.
I'm implying that she's like this female dog that just walks down the road, and you know what happens to female dogs walking down the road when there's other male
When
dogs
they're in
around.
heat.
Yeah, like, that's what's happened. That's what you're implying, and so
Gotcha.
I think that I think the idea is it's always the connotation or the implied meaning behind the use of the word. The use of the word, most of these words, well, I don't know about the F word. I don't have a history behind that. So I don't know
Somebody
where
will
that
give
came-
it to
yeah,
us.
somebody will give it to us. But, many
Wait,
of
I
these
can
other
get right here.
words, like the B word for a guy is just, a fatherless child. But it's not used in that sense. It's turned to be a derogatory term towards someone for that. Like, that's the origin of why these are all, like, that's unwholesome talk because of the
Have you ever
implied
heard?
meaning.
Have you ever heard someone just absolutely cussing someone else up and down, and it was so encouraging and uplifting and holy, and it's like just awesome.
Hey, I've had some people say that I've had some incredible dang messages, Sam.
Well, that's true. And hey,
And
I think
you preached the heck out of that, which maybe that's a spiritual connotation if I preached the heck out of.
I've
out
heard
of a message.
Dan Campbell use it in the locker room, and he was lifting them up.
Yeah. But I've had some cursing, especially the D word on how dang well my messages are.
By the
And
way,
I'm like, hey,
F word.
thanks, I guess.
F word. Most likely, obviously, it's hard to track these.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Germanic.
Germanic, yeah, Germanic.
Roots. The old German word. I'm gonna be very careful here. The old German word "ficken."
Is that with the F?
Ficken.
Ficken.
Which means
To
means-
strike or to move back and forth.
yeah.
That's all you got to do.
So there it is.
Don't go much
Hey,
further.
So there's the word.
That's where it comes from.
And that's where it came from.
And so that's where you begin to use it. And I think that, I honestly, I think,
Yes.
like we all know. Like, we know that we're using it to express something, and most of the time it is not in an uplifting mentality. And I think that's, at the end of the day, I think that's kind of where we get to.
But I tell you what, if we judged ourselves as harshly about using a bad word as we did about just saying something negative,
Agree 100%.
holy smokes!
Most
can
of
you
our
imagine?
languages are negative and confrontational,
But
and putting something down and expressing our dislike in something rather than building it up. Like, we all do that. And at the end of the day, those scriptures, if somebody wants to say, "See, it says you got no filthy talk," and it's like, well, you got a lot that you need to go back and look at.
Yeah.
To align yourself with that, outside of just a list of curse words. Like, that's not what it's talking
And,
about. I think we can all agree on that at the end of the day.
I think so.
Like, it's not talking about a list of curse words.
And that's where I think we could all stand on that. Is that that's the Christian feel good. Like, hey, here's my checklist. As long as I'm not using these words, I'm killing it.
Oh, yeah.
And
And you're not.
and you're.
I have to
you're
go
so
back and
far from it.
apologize to my mom now because of this podcast.
Wow.
What'd you do?
When she would tell me, "Don't use that word. You might as well be using the curse word."
Oh,
And I'm like,
No, it's not.
"Yeah, no, it's not."
so
It's
now
different."
just start using the
Yeah,
other word.
I just use
I
the
mean,
word.
might as
Yeah.
well. It's the same thing, right?
I'd hate to see what happens. She's still my mama.
Yes.
For sure.
Still my mama. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I do think that a lot of churches and a lot of Christians and a lot of pastors have misused a lot of that to make certain stances on things that aren't necessarily always biblical, but to broaden that out, like you make a point, is really at the end of the day what we really need to be looking at in all of our lives.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, guys.
I like it.
Thanks for
Sweet.
joining in. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being on this podcast with us. See you next time.
Sweet. Dun, dun, dun. Well, what'd you guys think, huh?
What do you
I don't
think?
know.
Did it get too sideways?
No, that's my favorite one so far.